So here's my audience. Here are my cards. As an American citizen and as a United States Marine Corps veteran, I believe that America is an amazing country. It provides us with a lot of rights and opportunities that not many other countries can do. But I also believe that we would be very remiss and ignorant to believe that we are perfect in all ways, shapes, and forms. I believe other cultures have things that they do and disciplines that they protect and provide to themselves that we can learn from. A quote by Will Durant once said that we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. I believe this directly reflects what a close nation to us and a close neighbor to us, i.e. Japan, directly upholds in their day-to-day lives. Today, I'm going to be talking about Japan and its honor and its disciplinary culture, and why exactly it's so beneficial to them and how it can be beneficial to us as a society. A little bit of backstory on me is, like I stated, I am a USMC veteran. I also lived in Japan for about 3 years, and for a full year back in 2023, I too lived in mainland Japan, where I got to visit big cities such as Tokyo, Osaka, Kyoto, Gotemba, so on and so forth, and I got to firsthand experience all of the multiple cultures within each city. So the first thing I wanted to talk about today was the food culture out there. A lot of people like to say that food is a discipline because of the artistic character that goes into it. But I believe that it's a very disciplinary thing because it's what we put in our bodies. It's what dictates our health over time. And the average Japanese diet is very high carb, high protein, low fat. For example, a Japanese breakfast could look like rice, miso soup, fish, vegetables, whereas an American breakfast will look probably like waffles, pancakes, eggs, grits, bacon, greasy foods, stuff that other countries and cultures would probably consider like a snack or something that you eat in the evening, or maybe even a dessert. According to journalist Adam Yamaguchi on the CBS in Japan Life Lessons in Healthy Eating, June 14th, 2026, he talks a lot about these topics. He speaks on how Japanese schools like to implement early education on how beneficial eating your vegetables can be, and they implement that by preparing that food, and before it even reaches their students, it reaches their principals and vice principals. And only once it gets that kind of approval, then and only then can it start being served to their students. So I believe that is a type of disciplinary action and honorary action, not just towards the people of the future, but also the people of the past, by showing respect to each other. The next thing I wanted to talk about was their environment conservation. I'd say that in America, you can probably go about on just any street in any small town, or heck, even large city if you want to make this easy, and you will find trash on the roads. Sometimes you'll find it right next to a trash can, other times you'll find it just in a sewage drain. But regardless, we have trash everywhere. According to Joe Crawford, who wrote Japan's Spotless Streets Put Americans' Litter Problem in Focus on the Telegraph.com, posted June 13th, 2026. He talks about how he only spent 1 week in Japan, and not once did he come across a single piece of litter, except for the exception of a cigarette butt that was immediately taken care of by a decontamination team. But he said that what made it especially more strange to him is the fact that there weren't any trash cans anywhere to be found. The only accessible areas were in places like 7-Eleven, Lawson's, or even the Family Mart. Me personally, I've been out there too, and I feel like I have seen a little bit of trash, but that's more in the cities where foreigners are found, more common for tourism. But if you actually go to the countryside, you'll notice there is no trash anywhere to be found, and still no trash cans. But where does this develop? Where does this development of not littering come into practice? Well, it's simple. It comes from their education system, which is the next thing we're going to talk about. Their educational discipline. You see, when Japanese children are in school, they're not just getting a formal education on math, science, history, literature. They're also established roles, responsibilities in their own schools. Things like dusting off countertops, cleaning up the field out in front, picking up trash in the parking lot and around hallways. And back to what I was talking about with food, as far as distributing goes, the students also distribute food to other students. The seniors at least do. They distribute food to the younger classmates. I believe that takes a lot of discipline to have to uphold that, not just throughout school, but once you get through school, you uphold that throughout life. I mean, I certainly would trust somebody that has been practicing something all their life to continue doing it for the rest of their life. I believe that an article that can really back up this statement was Discipline in Education, special feature on schools in Japan, classroom duties, posted on Web Japan, January 2021. If you go on this website, it will tell you exactly everything that I have just explained to you, strictly because they too have also documented all of this. I can also tell you from personal experience that there have been multiple schools that I have passed by in my time out in Japan, and I will see kids on a baseball field just raking out the sand, cleaning up the trash that is left in the dugouts. Whereas growing up playing baseball in America, we leave the big league chew for the field tenants to come grab later on. All in all, Japanese culture demonstrates a high level of honor and discipline, and it is known as a high-trust society for a very good reason. Their daily life, from food culture to their environmental conservation and their scholastic discipline, all ties in together. And I believe that what we teach our kids today will greatly impact the future that we live out in America. But at the end of the day, discipline is not just something society teaches, it is something that lives every day. Thank you.